How many levels do you need a TAR on?
I mean, usually, any kind of decision on a product development needs to be done at the various stages. Of course, you want to avoid mistakes, so you need to address certain things early in development, and like typically on the product requirement level. And then you need to have an architecture that also prevents attacks. So that is a bit later in the development. And then in the implementation, where you're actually introducing new vulnerabilities based on the specific implementations you are using. So you have at least those 3 levels where you need to do this.
And so unlike the ISO 26262 for functional safety, the ISO 21434 for cybersecurity, it doesn't actually assume a development process, a V-shaped development process with different refinement levels explicitly, although in the standard when you read there are hints about it. So in my opinion, they are assuming that you already have a V model, because I can't think of any case where you do cybersecurity and not functional safety in automotive. So assuming that, then you can do the TAR on multiple different levels. But then the question is whether you should do it on different levels or not. For example, in functional safety, you do the TAR on one level and then you break down your safety goals into more refined safety requirements. But there is no such explicit prescription in the standard for cybersecurity. And when we talk with different customers, then we see that there are different ways of interpreting and trying to divide in different ways. Some want to do it like in functional safety, one level of TARA breaking down, but still considering all the knowledge from the catalog in the breakdown. And some companies want to do it in multiple different levels, one on feature level, maybe one on system level, even on requirement software level, and so on. And I think we will see a convergence in the industry after a few years, because right now the standard is very fresh still.
Yeah, I mean the standard assumes that you assess your risks based on one hand, the damage that might occur at an attack, and also the feasibility of the attack. And those two do not occur at the same time in the development, because the damage can be assessed early on as part of your definition of the product. But the feasibility of the attacks is defined by the technology you're using. And usually that's a later decision in your development. So this is one of the challenges of performing a TARA, to do it continuously, or both early and late, with different assumptions. I mean, if you do it early, you have the assumptions of the damages, but you don't know what the attacks would be like. But you still need to address the risks early. So you need to look at the damages with some more basic assumptions on the feasibility of the attacks. And then later on, when you know what the technologies will actually be used, then you need to reassess your TARA.